Hello and welcome to episode 71 of the podcast. It is Clark here with Phil.
Hey.
So this week we're going to start with something.
Yeah.
It sounds bleak, but
Yeah.
it's not.
It's
It's
not.
actually really interesting.
And very fun.
Yeah, and there's a whole load of the usual "what would you do if" in it. So have a bit of play about with it. It's nuclear winter. If you don't know what it is, it's really interesting. Do give it a listen, and then if you want to find out more, Google it. Because that's what you do for everything.
Yeah.
Then we have a look at what's trending this week. Won't spoil it because if you don't know, it is 100% definitely worth looking into.
100%.
Won't spoil that bit. Just going to leave that as a mystery.
Should we give them a little clue? How we have done this yesterday, it wouldn't have existed.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, on Tuesday. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
This will be out on Friday.
yes.
So this will have happened within 3 days. If we had
Yeah,
done it on the
good
Tuesday,
point.
it wouldn't have happened.
Literally, if we'd have done this a day earlier, we wouldn't
Yeah.
have had it.
Yeah.
And then to finish off, we have a bit of a chat about clutter and declutter and everything to do with how that is great and oddly
for the brain.
satisfying.
Yeah.
And then we just finish like we always do with the final thoughts. So we hope you enjoy this one. You wake up, the world, basically there's been nuclear war overnight. You haven't woken up because you're a heavy sleeper, right?
Okay.
So you wake
Very
up,
heavy sleeper.
you wake up and you look out and you're like, bloody hell, place is a mess.
Yeah. Turn the heating on.
What do you think in comparison to all the films and games, all the rest that you've seen that depict this? What do you think would be the key differences
Probably the
between
sky.
real life? What do you think it would look like?
It would look very well. I mean, to be fair, rain and stuff here is like it makes everything look terrible. But it would be
Thought it was spring.
it'd be very different. It would just be like it wouldn't be. It would be doom and gloom, but it would be in a different sort of sense. You'd be like,
And also your house
oh no,
has somehow miraculously not been absolutely wiped out. And you're not too close to the epicenter.
it'd be one of those things where you lean against the wall or something and just falls. You're like, oh, okay, cement's been eradicated, everything's been done in.
Like the bit in The Day After Tomorrow
Yeah,
where he like the wee cleaner's been there and he opens the door and then the whole thing is like gone.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a tornado.
yeah. It's like that bit in what do you call it? What do you call that film with the rock in it? The Los Angeles one or something.
Oh, San Andreas?
San Andreas, that's the
Yeah.
one there where she goes out. Have you seen it?
No.
No. Okay, well,
I don't care.
Yeah,
put it
well,
that way.
someone goes out. I'll not tell you who because it's a weird character.
Right.
They go out and close the door behind them. I think it's in the bathroom or something. And then someone comes out, opens the door, and it's all gone. Like the door is just like it's just the rest of the skyline and stuff. That'd be terrible. Like, but I don't know. I mean, I think it would be. You wouldn't really know what to do because you would panic. You know,
We are not prepared as a species or a people.
I mean, I dare say a few people would be prepared to think like the likes of the
Well,
guys.
there's the doomsday preppers, but
The
like
doomsday preppers are the guys that you need to have as friends. Cause like, here I've got a big bunker down the stairs, which is the size of their house.
like you think about it, you like realistically we have no clue
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do first. No clue.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it's not really something you would ever really think about because
What's the nuclear winter drill?
it's just that Bosch when you've
Don't
got
die. Don't die.
I don't know. I think I wouldn't really know what to do. I mean, even like films wouldn't really prepare you for that sort of stuff. Like 'cause
Nothing can, I don't think, because based on certainly what I read, I did a wee bit of reading on, it sounds pretty horrible.
I can imagine it would be. Yeah.
And that's excluding the radiation and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
The fact you couldn't actually eat your normal vegetables anymore.
No,
You couldn't eat
that's-
anything really. You couldn't even eat your chicken.
Not really, because there's nothing for them to eat.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes a whole big thing, and it sounds very similar as to how they believe that the dinosaurs died, which wasn't that a meteor hit and then all the volcano like killed everything.
Yeah.
It was that the meteor hit and then caused the well, I'm sure they killed some.
Oh
But,
yeah.
like, the volcanoes went off and there was a lot of soot and all in the air,
Mhm.
completely covered the world more or less, and then basically,
There's
they
nothing left.
yeah, they starved,
Yeah.
and that's more or less how they died.
It's really
obviously
sad.
some stuff survived, but you're talking this hundreds of millions of years ago, before our time.
Yeah. They're 26,000 years old. What do you know about?
Okay. But what do you call it? But in short, just a brief summary of the what it is, and then I'll go into slightly more detail. I won't go into too deep because this is
I'm in
huge.
too deep.
This is huge. Like if ever you really want to have a read about this, give yourself time. This is a rabbit hole.
There's loads of stuff in Nuclear Winters, Nuclear
So
Summers,
much.
Holocaust. There's loads of stuff online.
So much.
I like playing Fallout.
Yeah, just,
Or just go play Fallout. Just don't bother.
You could even try that. I mean, realistically, you know, as always, whenever we go into this, it's not going to be a lecture at all. So it's going to be fairly high level. So for anyone that doesn't know, nuclear winter is basically a hypothesis. It's not ever happened.
Yeah.
Obviously. Because we've never had a nuclear war, but basically it's defined basically as severe and prolonged global climatic cooling, basically that occur after widespread firestorms following a nuclear war. Firestorms are exactly what they sound like. They are as bad as they sound.
There's a film I'm pretty sure had a firestorm in it.
Most likely.
Also, Battlefield's new thing's called Firestorm, isn't it?
Yeah.
That looks dreadful. Have you seen the things for it?
No.
Like it just goes flies past and it just all starts burning on fire.
No.
Seen the tornadoes and stuff with fire and all of them.
Basically, yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
You know, it is, as I say, as bad as it sounds. But the whole hypothesis is based on the fact that these, obviously, when there's fire, there's smoke, and smoke is soot, which is carbon.
Yeah.
So basically, these fires, and I'll go into a bit more detail about them in a minute. Basically, they can shoot the soot. It's almost got it wrong.
Shoot the soot.
Into the into the stratosphere, and then that basically blocks direct sunlight. Obviously, pretty much everything we eat, eventually at one point, will have eaten something that needed sunlight.
Yeah.
So there's a long chain that can break. So basically, it's speculated that the cooling down of the Earth. And also the blockage of a lot of the sun rays that would get through would cause widespread crop failure and famine. Obviously, that wouldn't be great for us, but certainly, you know, if you imagine even the likes of, you know, you break this way down to the little algae, for example, that are on the top of, basically water everywhere, that fish eat that, which are probably quite small fish. They're eaten by bigger fish. They're eaten by bigger fish. They're eaten by us, or some way along the line. Maybe they're eaten by something else. Yeah. But you know,
the food chain sort of is buggered.
Yeah, basically we're in trouble. So basically, they've developed computer models, so they do sort of have an idea how this can happen. It's just not publicly known.
They've got theories about it, yeah. But
how we would survive it. So basically, they've used bombings the likes of Hiroshima and. Because there actually was a firestorm after that in World War II. So basically, excuse me, use that. There was a bombing at Hamburg and also large area wildfire.
That's where the Hamburg came from, you know?
See, is that true?
No.
See, I've always wondered why it was called that then.
Well, it's just called Hamburg because it's in Germany.
No, not the place, the food.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the guy was like, oh, have you ever been to Hamburg?
Unless I don't know, weird one. But basically, originally Nuclear Winter was originally called Nuclear Twilight.
So that's a nicer name. If someone told me I'm having a nuclear twilight tonight, I'd be like, that sounds nice.
What is that? Wee whiskey or something?
Yeah.
No,
that'd be a really good name for
sounds class, doesn't it?
Nuclear twilight. Well, maybe a shot.
True, and it's made up of
death,
flu aftershock. A small bit of the black bit of Guinness.
Or just black absinthe.
You can put that on top. And then, but just something that makes it sort of like twilighty.
Yeah.
Like nice. Quite blue, like maybe blue. Oh my goodness, what do you call that?
Blue Lagoon.
No, you put it in Blue Lagoon.
Curacao.
Blue Krakow? Is what you call it?
Yeah, Blue Curacao. Yeah.
I don't know why you say it like that.
Because that's how you spell it. That's how you say it.
I thought it said Krakow.
No, Krakow's a place.
Krakow. I'm thinking of.
Curcao.
Yeah.
Curacao.
That does not sound right.
That's pronounced correctly.
That's so weird. But that sounds so
well,
wrong.
in my accent, it technically is Curacao, but
where's it from? Brazil?
I don't know.
Sounds Portuguese. But anyway, you could put that in, and then you could put a darker blue until eventually you put the black on top.
I drink it.
I probably wouldn't. Sounds grim, but
It's nuclear twilight. It's going to be amazing.
it would knock you out.
Yeah.
So
Be fine.
that's why you call it that.
Yeah.
Basically, in 19
Why? Night.
if you just take this, you're done.
Yeah.
Why? What happens? Take it and see. Blackout. You're just done.
You wake up in a nuclear winter.
It actually blinds you. You never wake up again.
Oh,
But the term nuclear winter was coined in 1983 by a guy called Richard P. Turco. Basically,
Turco, I know him well.
he did a wee model, and basically he says that
What was her name?
what? Oh, nice. But basically, he says that he was basically the first guy who came up with a name because of the soot and the smoke that remain in the air for years.
Right.
Now he basically came to the conclusion that this would happen. Now in 1991 there was a massive oil fire in Kuwait, that it basically it didn't happen at all. They were expecting there to be a short, like some sort of coverage, but it wasn't. So then eventually they came to the conclusion that it would take 100 firestorms, each comparable intensity to that from Hiroshima, to make a small nuclear
mini
winter.
one? Yeah.
So basically they would expect that it would basically reduce the world's temperature by 1 degree, which is insane if you think that global warming's done that the opposite way.
Yeah.
So if we want to fix it, we could just do this.
No.
But it would be terrible. Like if we really
Do you
were
imagine
struggling that
comes
much.
down to the point where, do you want to fix global warming? Yeah, let's have a nuclear winter. Oh, that sounds
Exactly.
nice. Well, what's that involved then? Oh, you don't want to know. Alright then.
Basically, it would reduce. It would basically flip global warming in 2 to 3 years.
Ooh, do you hear that?
Interesting. You were very impressed. But,
Yeah, that's to be fair. I don't think it's very. it was a very comedically timed noise. Hope we got picked up on that, but I can't imagine anyone would be like, "It's a good idea to do that."
No, because people would die. But if
you
we
wouldn't be
were
able to live in Earth for like
3 years.
4 or 5 years probably before everything's sort of
Everything
built
went
back up again.
Yeah, exactly. And a reason I'll be able to tell you in just a moment. So basically, it comes to the point that it could these actual the firestorms. If this was to happen, now this is if there was a war that happened between, I don't know, like American Soviet war.
Well,
for
I mean,
example,
Trump at
right?
the minute, you never know.
Now this is the equivalent of having shot 15, I think it was 15. Yeah,
The
15,
atomic bomb.
15 kiloton bombs
Oh yeah.
at each other, right? So this is America hitting Russia and Russia hitting America.
Yeah.
Basically, it would cause obviously the firestorms that would be needed to shoot the soot up, which go like 50 miles into the air. Not the firestorm, but the soot would go way up in the air.
Yeah.
Cause the coverage. So an average temperature drop during the summer now this is regions of like US, Europe and China, up to 20 degrees Celsius, which would make it here like pretty much freezing.
Yeah.
Maybe just below.
During the summer.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
So
maybe,
you imagine
maybe 2 degrees. I mean, -2, -3.
roughly could be. I mean, it would not be warm here ever.
Well, I mean, our summers aren't great at the best of times.
Exactly.
Like, so.
Exactly. Like some countries might get like a 10, 15 degrees. Like, you imagine Vegas would be like 20.
You think to the likes of Poland though, like Poland, like all those places would be like way in the minus, like because it's insane.
Let me tell you just how in the minus.
Oh dear.
So in agricultural regions of the likes of Russia, around Poland, sort of Eastern Europe, 35 Celsius drop in the summer. That's not the winter. That's the summer.
See, summer's not too bad from what I've read because we want to go back in summertime, but
I reckon you'd hit minuses.
You'd be hitting the -10s maybe.
Yeah. And then you imagine the winter, you're probably -70. Well, in Russia, maybe -70. Everywhere else, you're probably talking.
Poland, -2, -3. There when we were there, that was in
You know what? It probably could be about -70. I reckon it'd be double as bad
Probably.
in the winter, doubly as bad in the winter.
I mean, it was cold enough. Like my chest was hurting, something shocking, even walking out in it. Like,
just imagine how freezing that would be. It would be.
I hate the cold. Like
beyond
I'd rather
ridiculous.
be too warm than too cold.
Agreed.
What was that?
Equally.
Equally
Agreed.
and I sounded drunk.
But basically, this is assuming that there's 99% reduction in the solar radiation that comes through. Now, obviously, it would eventually clear, but they're saying it would take decades.
Oh yeah, more than like I mean, you look at what Chernobyl and stuff. I mean, people are living there. Just in the it's crazy, like absolutely crazy. I seen there was a video on Facebook of a guy going over to Chernobyl, did a solo tour just with him and his camera.
Ooh.
Went into Chernobyl, just going through, because I mean there's bears and everything living in the place, like, but he found a fella in Chernobyl.
Alive?
Yeah, he's with his dog and his wife.
What the hell? Is he living there?
Oh yeah, people do live in Chernobyl. Like people, they still live there. I mean,
why?
I don't know. It's just the outskirts of Chernobyl. Like it's not like right in the middle where all the radiation and stuff is, but he's there with his, and he made him. I think his wife made him some stew or something.
I would not be eating that stew.
Made him some stew, and I think the guy had brought some vodka with him.
Again.
No, but he brought it with him, so
yeah,
it wasn't from.
It's now been in there. It's probably like radiated.
He also found a pot that was just in the middle of the forest, and he drank out of it.
Why?
I don't know.
Does he want stomach cancer?
Probably. Does he want 15 stomachs? I don't know.
Yeah, he wants like 3 mini stomachs to come
Hulk.
off the side.
Yeah, that's what his goal was, to go in and see if he can just become the Hulk by drinking some radiation.
He's just gonna end up sick.
Probably. Yeah.
But then, is it not been like almost declared to the point it's almost safe?
Yeah, it's pretty much fine now. Like you can go.
How many years has that been?
30. I'd say 35. Yeah.
Miles.
Probably. Like, but I mean, I wouldn't want to go like.
I would go to see it, but I wouldn't be doing anybody.
What I would do is I would go far enough away, get a military drone, and just look at it from a camera and be like, "That looks nice."
YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much just YouTube it and be like, just stick a VR helmet on and be like, yeah, okay.
I'm here. This is fine.
I'm in Chernobyl.
This is enough.
Or Chernobyl or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I would say Chernobyl, but that's just me.
That's just off.
Now, in terms of the actual climactic effects, they say that it's estimated that if those bombs were to go either way, they're up to 5 million tons of soot would be released from the firestorms.
What, all together then?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus,
which is quite a lot.
It's a lot of Santa there, like, isn't it?
And basically, it would reduce the degrees over, as I say, North America and Eurasia, that sort of stuff. Basically, everywhere that grows grain.
So, how many degrees are we going up then for global warming? Because it certainly wouldn't be 30.
No, for it to basically be to the point where we're screwed, it's 1.5.
Jeepers.
At the minute, we're around 1. So,
well, people, start helping.
If you get a chance, you should watch the Our Planet thing. We watched the first episode.
What's it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's David Attenborough. It's got 9.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Currently, it's displaced Game of Thrones as the top TV show of all time. But we watched.
When did it go on Netflix? Recently, was it, or?
This week.
Oh, what? Oh, that.
Yeah,
No,
very
I
recently.
haven't been on Netflix at all then.
But we flicked it on last night. First episode's really good. There's a point where.
Is that the one where all the walruses and stuff and seals are starting to fall off things?
What?
No, that
not
can't
that I've
be.
seen, but I've only seen one episode.
Maybe it's our, because he's got a few things out now.
Yeah,
David
he's got
Attenborough.
loads of stuff. He's got.
I
Like,
know you
life.
say it's Our Planet.
Our Planet.
It might be like
But-
our sea or something.
But either way, it's class. Like, and there's
I
a
actually
point.
wouldn't mind watching that, to be fair.
It looks like CGI some bits.
Yeah.
And I said to Rachel, I was like, Google and see if that's real.
Yeah.
All of it legit. But there's a point where, except for the moon bit that I told you about.
Yeah.
But then there's a bit towards the end that it shows you. The guy's got footage of a glacier, which is part of Greenland, kilometre long, breaking off.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen, and the sea just goes and it just goes. All
It's
over the
madness. You should see
Yeah,
it. Like it's a
yeah.
kilometre long. It's 100 meters above the water, 400 meters underneath,
Yeah.
and it just breaks and just like starts floating away, which is fairly normal.
Yeah.
But it's now going
At a
something
rapid
like
rate.
I think he said something like twice as fast as it was.
Yeah.
20
It's
20 times as fast as it was 10 years. I wish I could remember.
It's
but
incredible.
We
Like,
were watching it late at night, but it's so good. You should watch it.
no,
But,
I probably will. Actually, I wouldn't watch it with Lauren because Lauren. Actually, might because then she could sleep.
It's good, like it is, because it's got like all the wee like chases, you know, the predators and the prey and
Oh, I like that.
all that sort of stuff. And but no, it is very good. But basically, just while we were talking about that, I thought it'd be a wee interesting one. So again, we're talking about the ozone now. 50 of those devices each side.
Yeah.
There'd be the massive urban fires, all the rest. And as I say, there'd be up to 5 million tons up in the air. It's 50 meters up. It's not even like 50 meters, 50 miles up. It's not like it's not going anywhere. It's right the way up there. Basically, there's a theory that the suit would absorb enough solar heat that it would actually cause chemical reactions that could potentially break down the ozone layer, which would then allow the too much ultraviolet light through and basically scorch the earth, and then we're done. That way. And then I suppose a good place to finish would be the opposite of a nuclear winter, which is called a nuclear summer. This is finished for me. Well, you have far more fun things than this. But basically, a nuclear summer is another hypothesis, which is basically after a nuclear winter.
Yeah.
So what happens is that
sounds like a really nice resort.
It's this sounds awful, but the aerosols inserted into the atmosphere that have basically stopped sunlight reaching the surface, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Basically now, once they've stopped, basically all the carbon that's released by like fire and all that's carbon dioxide that is released by the fire, by the methane from all the dead things, everything starts to then rise, and basically we would heat up massively. It would basically flip because these will then start trapping the rays that come through or get through, and it would go quick, and basically everything that had survived the cooling would be more likely to die from the heat because they're more used to the cold, and that's how they've survived. So the theory is that after a nuclear winter, everything that's left probably wouldn't survive a nuclear summer.
Yeah.
So one way or the other,
you're gonna get smashed.
Yeah, pretty much. And the annoying thing is as well is that the methane wouldn't just be coming from like the dead things on the surface. There's a lot that would probably be frozen in the water.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you imagine Russia, if it did drop 35 degrees in the summer and it was minus 20, I don't know, that's just a guess, but say it was minus 10 even in the summer, that's going to freeze most surfaces of like lakes and
probably.
And you even imagine in the wintertime if it drops 50 degrees, you're talking it could be minus 70. That's freezing oceans.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. Surely that would freeze an ocean.
Like
so you can just imagine what an absolute disaster it would be. So if we were in that scenario, what's the suggested plans?
Well, I mean, these are just tips on Listverse, which is, I mean, how would they know? Do you know what I mean?
Just guessing.
Well, number 10 would be to live in the countryside. Don't really know how that would help.
Probably because there wouldn't be as much like looting.
You
wouldn't have much competition, all that sort of stuff.
Well, it tells you here that it says that it may sound like something of a bogus entry, which I would agree with. Given that it cannot easily be helped, because obviously if you're just living in a house, you can't just have
you can't just be like
just up and move somewhere like
quick as a nuke coming.
It says the estimates made during the 1960s indicated that should Russia launch a fully committed assault in the United States,
it would be for the cities.
Weird. 100 and 150 million people would be killed by the initial detonations, over 2/3 of the population at that time. Major cities would be rendered totally inaccessible, both by the blast and by the radiation which would accompany it. All in all, if you live in a city, you're almost certainly doomed, but if you live in the countryside, you have at least a moderate chance of an initial survival.
There you go.
Yeah, but you'd have to travel somewhere to get something though, that's the problem. And if you live in the countryside,
you could be maybe self-sustaining.
But that you couldn't be though.
You might be.
But you can't be then if you're in a nuclear winter, because everyone would be dead.
Oh no, well, nuclear winter certainly, but if for example,
this is the tips for surviving a nuclear winter.
I think maybe number 10 is just sort of saying, look, if you're out of the way at the start, you're more likely to not die at the start.
So you'll live.
Then afterwards, you're gonna have to sort something out.
Yeah.
Eat grass.
Well, no, because you would die from that as well. Then eat the air. No, because you would die from that too.
You're just dead.
Eat yourself. Number 9. I don't know. Abandon religious beliefs.
Okay. Why?
I mean,
Does it say why? Does
Yeah,
give you a
it
reason?
tells you
Yeah.
why. Yeah, it tells you like it's basically just for like the likes of your food
Morals.
intake and stuff and more. Yeah, it says if your religion bars you from eating certain food, you may not want to abandon because you wouldn't want to do it, but it's obviously necessary if you're wanting to survive. I mean,
Like if you believe that there's a deity after there's been a nuclear winter,
yeah.
and you still believe they're good, then there's probably something quite wrong with your head.
But I mean, people are just like they have a plan, and if the plan is for you to die in a melty death or a frozen death, then so be it.
Melty or frozen.
Well, that is literally your options there.
Yeah.
You're either going to freeze to death or you're going to melt.
Or you're gonna die of a really terrible cancer from the radiation.
Or well, yeah, but then that's melting from the inside.
Ugh, it's so grim.
Yeah, it's not nice. Like, I wouldn't really see the point in that. Really, would you?
They're just, I wouldn't have any issue with that. But basically,
It does say like go to church every Sunday is sort of given up now, but I mean you can still pray, couldn't you?
yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, it's as useful as eating grass.
Number 8's grim.
Yeah.
Execute or release pets.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
I completely disagree with that on the grounds that if I did that, I'd probably kill myself.
I think it'd be like you said earlier on, it'd be good for like moral support
Yeah.
where you need to have a bit of good,
Like, you see homeless people with a dog, I guarantee you they're better off for it.
than the homeless person without a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
obviously, unless they don't like dogs, but you know what I
Or
mean?
yeah, but if
You
they have a pet,
imagine.
like a pet gecko or something,
Yeah.
for instance.
Think how much easier that would be to feed than a dog.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. This is what it says here. It's obviously saying that it's not just saying just kill them for the crack. It's just
Yeah.
telling you, your food intake. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get dog food.
Mm-hmm.
So any sort of food that you do get, whether it be from anywhere, you have to share it with your animal. And it just says that the best thing for you to continue living is to let that one go.
I think I find that very difficult.
I'd let Lauren go before I let Penny go. Like so, that's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately.
Can't argue with me, Penny. Sure.
You ready, Penny? Yeah. Okay. Bye, Lauren. Number 7, cover up. Simple as that. Just
Keep
literally
warm.
keep warm.
Yeah.
Put all the stuff. Kill a bear. Wear its clothes. That's what you need to do.
That's what it says.
No, that's what I say.
Oh.
Number 6, arm yourself. Don't know where you're going to do that from. Over here. Just go into Dick's Good Stores or whatever you call it. Dick's Sporting
Realistically,
Stores.
everything's a weapon. I reckon there's a lot of stuff in here I could do him with.
Well, I mean that for starters,
Yeah.
you could probably.
Like,
And then that sword just hanging on the side.
but you know what I mean? Like, there's probably a lot of, like, if you go down to their kitchen, there's knives.
There's not.
Right. Okay.
Most kitchens have knives.
It's like if you walk
Just those
into
with forks.
any standard.
We just have double forks when
I'm
we
not
eat.
alive. We only use spoons in this house. But like, you imagine
You get some
most kitchens have relatively large knives, so you could arm yourself that way.
Yeah, I mean I think we've
Tie them all together and make mega knife.
we have enough in this house I think to kill about 1 million people, but
They never run out of ammo. They
No.
just get blunt.
yeah, exactly.
So
Number 5, learn to recognize cannibals.
that's so weird.
It's such a vague thing, isn't it? Here, can you recognize a cannibal? Yeah, we could totally.
What do you want to eat? Bicep or tricep?
What?
If they say what, you're like, not a cannibal.
Yeah. Tricep. What? No, I mean this is just silly. Like, it's basically just said when all the big meaty animals have gone, you're gonna find people with apparently wearing. But that's just like a hunter. You hunter.
How's that being a cannibal?
Well, apparently in their opinion, blood is on their mouths all the time, and they're like. It's like it's like an addiction type of thing where they're like all jittery and they're looking at you with your eyes.
I've seen
and
that in
stuff.
something.
Yeah.
What film is that in where the person's really shaky and they have to get out of there really quick?
I couldn't tell you. There's plenty of films about addiction.
No, they're eating people and Book of Eli.
Oh yeah, right enough.
The Book of Eli.
Well,
Where
it's set in a post-apocalyptic.
yeah,
isn't it?
it's basically that sun scorched the earth,
Yeah.
but basically they go into this
And he's
people's
blind,
house.
isn't he?
Yes,
He's read a book
That's-
in Braille.
yes, he's reading the Bible in Braille, and people are killing each other over it.
So then
Just
number
for
9's
cheese.
irrelevant
Why?
because he hasn't abandoned his religious beliefs.
He hasn't, but everybody else has. And
Yeah,
everyone already-
that's why he's given the Bible out for the
Yeah.
crowd. Well, if you can recognize a cannibal from 20 miles off, then fair play to you. Because I certainly wouldn't want to recognize one 2 feet away from me, like so. Then it'd be jumped and beaten. My ear and I'll be ripped off like Evander Holyfield. It'd be awful. Number 4, travel alone.
See, What?
The Book of Eli.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
No way. Does the next bit actually have that?
Yeah, well, this is Travel Alone, so it's in like the road. Such films like The Road. And
Well, he
The Book of
travels
Eli,
with his son,
Alone,
but
yeah. Well, I
it's
mean,
Viggo Mortensen or whatever you call him. I can't even say his name.
yeah, it's correct. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew if I said that right.
But I mean, I it's the same thing in like even like a zombie apocalypse as well though.
But then even in the Book of Eli, he travels with a girl.
Why haven't we done an episode on zombie apocalypse yet?
We not?
No.
So embarrassing.
We'll need to do one soon.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's basically it makes sense. Like if you're in with a bigger group, you're more likely to die.
Yeah. Well,
bandits and stuff. If they see 40 people coming across, then that's grim. But you could hide as one person.
yeah, but if you see a group of 40 people and you've got a group of bandits, and there's like 6 years, you aren't gonna chance your army as 40 people.
Well, if they have no weapons, you probably could kill them all with like a.
You have to get pretty close.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I think if you have a group that you're all mates,
Yeah.
that's fine. But if you find people on the road, that's where things get dodgy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, right,
All
I don't know if I
strangers.
can trust you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd prefer to travel alone if that was the case. If no one
Just
I
with
knew
a
was.
just with a dog.
Yeah. If
Like
that was
in-
a viable option.
In that, what do you call it, Will Smith movie?
I Am Legend.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
He has a dog.
Yeah, but it doesn't end well for the dog. No.
It's the worst.
I hate films that kill animals.
No,
It
it's
doesn't
the
matter.
worst.
Number 3, eat insects. No thanks. Skipping that
Nutritional.
one.
Very
Yeah.
nutritional.
Don't
yeah.
think so. I'd rather just die than rather eat insects. Like, I mean, there's an actual thing. We haven't even got nuclear winter, and there's a thing you can go on called I'm a Celebrity, and you can do that. So,
True.
if you want.
But they do that in other cultures. It's just weird how
Yeah, I know.
we find it disgusting because we've never done it. But like, if you go to China, they're like, "Oh, scorpion."
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's funny whenever it came down to the point where you're like, you know, that chicken's actually edible. Yeah, but so's a spider. Yeah, but that's bigger, and it has a bit more.
It's also not as freaky looking.
Yeah, exactly. But I
It's
mean,
just weird, like how other cultures are like, yeah, dip it in honey, unreal.
I still think chickens look weird, like, but I don't really care because I like how they taste.
I never really think too much into meat. Maybe that's why I'm okay with it.
I don't know. I just think
Like,
it's weird whenever
have you ever noticed,
down to
right?
you can eat that big cow over there, but you can't eat a.
Like you don't change a vegetable's name when you eat it, but you change meat's name.
What do you mean?
So apart from chicken, obviously, but like
What, cow
beef?
and steak?
Beef is cow,
Yeah.
but then there's also like a lot of other.
Well, beef's a lot of things. It could like I think even wild boar's beef, not pork.
I would say that's boar, again, but that's because I don't really ever eat it. But like, there's a few things that you change, like bacon, sausage. It's all pig.
Yeah. Suppose
It's
you
just
could.
weird. There's certain things you change, but it's because we might feel weird saying, "What are you having on a cow burger?"
I think it's just the way it's made though, because like mince is obviously because it's minced.
Or do you think it's because of where it's from? Like, for example, you like, what part of a cow's beef? All of it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Pretty sure, apart from the head and
Well, not.
the
But like,
legs and
if
stuff.
you think like in a cow is like, obviously there's certain cuts of steak come from certain parts.
Yeah, there's like fillet.
Yeah.
Would you eat raw?
Can you?
Mhm.
I suppose you can eat any steak raw, really.
You can, but this one's apparently like the more nutritional you could have. But
Because there's like rump, which is like the ass.
yeah,
There's like sirloin, which is somewhere else, and then you go through and there's T-bone, which is obviously two different types.
yeah.
But like, if you think of all those different steaks, they come from different parts. So is beef from one specific part of a cow?
I just think it's just beef in general, because technically steak is beef, isn't it?
I don't know. We have a way off topic.
From eating insects, eating steak and cow. So there you go. Number 2, scavenge. So basically, just become a looter. No.
Yeah, I would totally scavenge.
What would you scavenge in a shop? Apart from
Medicine.
food. In a shop?
Bandages, everything that's potentially useful, weapons, knives.
Maybe go to the kitchen department and get some knives. It's so funny because when you go to America, you can go to like a Walmart and buy whatever you want.
I would
Over
definitely
here,
get a bottle opener too.
yeah,
You never know when you're going to need one of those.
tree for eyes and stuff.
No, for actually opening balls.
Oh,
Have you ever come across a ball?
well, that would be a thing. And
Just
then
like
also,
corkscrews on the face.
also collecting bottle caps because fall.
When your wee bottle cap just goes, woo! You have to arms go up as you just screw it in.
Woo! Woo! I know what you're on about. But you could do this like a Fallout. I mean, Fallout's taught me anything is about collecting bottle caps.
It is. It's eventually going to be mine.
Yeah, 100%. And then one, which is pretty obvious, avoid impact zones. But I don't know how you're meant to do that because if you don't have a map, unless you have a map of where you're not meant to go, because technically, even if you don't see a crater, you can't really see it from 40 miles away, so you don't know if you're going to walk into it at some point.
You'll see. What's the first thing you would do? Right. Again, we had this conversation.
I'd probably go back to bed.
It's too early for this.
It's too early to do with this. I'll get up and then I'll see what's happening.
I always think the first thing that'd be quite clever is get high up.
I think it's just get high.
Yo,
boys, you got that weighted?
Yep. It's all gone. But like, you go and sit somewhere up high. Say for us, say it happened in
Knocka.
That's where I would go.
Yeah.
Straight away is to go, right, what's going on? Where can I go? Where can I not go?
Yeah, you probably go to the Knocka, but then it's quite far away for us from. Not now because it's okay, we know where to go. But whenever that was to happen, there could be splits in the earth. There could be,
easily.
So you might be like,
you want to try and see what's going on because then that way you can go, right, okay, Lisburn's gone, we can't go there.
That'd be a
right?
shame.
So, and Lauren's gone, so we're pretty much the only place that's untouched. Then you can sort of go, right, okay, or you could say, right, friggin' Bangor's away.
Yeah.
So, and then, but anyway, you could just then go, right, okay, we're probably going to be inundated with people. So you got to get your stuff in now.
Yeah.
Get sorted out.
Well, you'd probably go to Tesco's first then, wouldn't you?
Probably the garage.
What garage?
Top Road.
Oh yeah, right. No.
Because Tesco is where everyone's going.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but then see, that wouldn't be too bad if you were the manager. You just get in with the key.
Just lock it down.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody in.
It'd be really funny if it was to be one of those things where it was that. Well, it would be funny, but if it was to happen and then just like a McDonald's was just untouched. I knew there was something wrong with that place.
It probably would be. That's the thing. Like if you think about it, you like in terms of people like
Luton, M still flashing and all.
In terms
people
of
are still there flipping burgers. What are you doing? Why? What's wrong?
But like you wouldn't go to like somewhere like that probably.
No, you definitely wouldn't. But it'd be along the way. You would see in Zombieland where they have like the Twinkie thing and all. It's just one of those stupid things. Yeah. Oh,
that's coming out soon as well.
Zombieland 2.
Yeah. Next year. Is it?
I think so, yeah. Well, obviously this is different because it would be, it'd be detrimental to the Earth's survival and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be, you would drive somewhere and you'd be like, oh, there's a McDonald's over there. That's
good
funny.
times.
Yeah. And then I'm loving it. But I mean, you would see that and be like, oh, of course that would survive. And then you look down the road of Burger King, it just melted. You're like, rim. Prefer Burger King than a McDonald's, but
it's too expensive.
Oh, Burger King?
Mm-hmm.
I think for what you get, it's okay. Like, I mean, the best Burger King I've ever had is over in Poland. Don't know why. It just was amazing.
Had better.
Well, it had like mayo and ketchup and mixed in the burger. It was insane with onions and all. It was so good. Revolutionary.
Never heard of that.
It's literally a burger with mayo and ketchup in it, and it was bloody amazing. The Polish people made it and the guy who spoke behind the counter was very, very well. He was just like, "Yep, I can speak English, no problem."
Good.
So I was like, "You know what ketchup is? Ketchup, no problem."
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
What are we on for time? 36?
Yeah, go a wee bit.
I've got 20 life forms, but I'm not going to go through 20 life forms. I'm going to go through a couple just that would survive a nuclear war or nuclear winter or whatever.
Yep.
The ginkgo biloba. It's a tree that would survive.
Such a great name.
So there you go. It actually survived the bombing on what do you call it? Hiroshima.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Chinese. It's a Japanese tree.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's called ginkgo biloba. I don't know if that's Japanese, but ginkgo is like yeah.
You would guess it is if it was in Hiroshima anyway.
But it survived that atomic bomb at the time, which was, I mean, obviously nothing compared to what it is now. Like now, you can wipe out a world. You know what I mean? You can wipe out an entire planet if you wanted to, really.
Much.
But it survived. It was only less than a mile away from the actual bombing, so it survived.
I think that one was the one that they missed. So like they actually it would have been way worse if they'd have dropped it where they were supposed to.
Yeah.
I think Hiroshima was the one because I think Nagasaki was first, but they dropped another one and it hit. It was like a.
I know what you mean.
It was like a dam.
Yeah.
Sort of. It wasn't like a dam.
It was like a divot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it basically it sounds so stupid. 'Cause still, like, so many people died, but like it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, it could have been like more catastrophic than what it actually was, just because of that one, which is insane to think about. Like, I mean, I don't want to say that like about fate and everything happens for a reason, all that sort of crap. Like, but I mean, sometimes you just look at things and you go, 1 in a million.
Remember the guy who was at both?
Remember
the unlucky
the
guy?
Asian fella? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been from anywhere.
Well, it was the 40s in the war.
So,
I'm pretty sure
he could have been from anywhere.
He
could have been from anywhere.
He was a guy who...
No one thought in 1940 there was going to be a war.
Was that something unlucky or...
Yeah, it was one of he was caught in
unlucky.
both.
We were talking about luck, weren't we? And he went to one, survived that, and then went home. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, could you imagine being that guy? They would be like, really? I think he lost like his ear or something, or lost hearing in his left ear or his right ear or something. I'm pretty
possibly, because I always say I'm pretty sure one of them
would have heard something. I think
he lived for ages though, didn't he?
Yeah, he lived for quite a while, but I think he died due to like liver
sort of cancer,
wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think it was something.
Well, it was always going to be, I suppose.
Which is a real shame, like, because I mean, surviving that and then being the guy, it's just like, well, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's awful, but yeah. So it's survived apparently 270 million years, so doing well for itself.
It's doing alright, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably survive longer, like, but not really. Cockroaches, of course, because they can survive literally everything. Yeah. I mean, that's why there's rad roaches in Fallout, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense. Ants would also survive.
How so? They're so small.
Because they're class, that's why.
Protect the queen. They all just pile around her. That's what they do. Yeah,
but I mean, I can't imagine them all as like fire ants. We're already part of the problem. You know, that'd be terrible. Like, just because they're so small, their size really protects them from the effects of the radiation, so they could survive underground for yonks and yonks and yonks and yonks.
True.
Like under the soil, under the soot, and under the
soil,
under the soil. This one's a bit of a weird thing. I don't really know what exactly it is. Lingulata.
What is it? What's it say?
A brachiopod.
Brachiopod?
It buries itself under the ground when it's threatened and then reappears whenever it's fine.
I'm not
sure.
The
danger's past.
What's it called? Oh, it's a flower?
Yeah, it looks like a little flower, but it buries itself underground. It survived, because I mean, that's what you're doing these days, aren't you? Really? For 550 million years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How's that possible? The Earth's only 6,000.
Million years? I know. Fish, apparently. Some weird type of fish. I don't really know. It doesn't really Salmon? It just tells you that just fish are capable of surviving in almost any conditions. Dangerous products dumped into the sea, doesn't faze them. Been to space, sent to Skylab, the first space station since 1973. The fish that were hatched during this experiment suffered no effects, so a nuclear war shouldn't bother them one bit.
I don't know. If it gets in the water, I'm pretty sure nuclear waste is going to destroy
Well, what
them.
else is a fish going to do?
No.
Right, mate?
No,
I mean legs now.
I mean, if the well,
to be fair, it could.
but
that's what happens to us.
If any sort of nuclear runoff gets in, it's surely going to poison everything.
Probably.
Surely.
Yeah.
But then I suppose big massive ocean there's no way we can poison all of that.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I mean, you think how big the land mass is compared to the ocean. It's not that. It's
and
like...
What do you call that trench? It's like the deepest point on the planet. Mariana Trench?
Could be.
Is that what you call it?
What, like under the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
is it the Mariana Trench?
Could be, because it would technically make sense, wouldn't it, for marine?
You know? Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
We'll do a quick Google while you...
There's a thing called a water bear.
This sounds amazing.
It's called a tardigrade, you call it. Doesn't it look like a water bear?
It is.
Looks like a...
Oh, it looks like a wee... like louse?
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like, to be fair.
It's 11 kilometres deep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I couldn't imagine it reaching that much. Like, I mean, tectonic plates and stuff could shift them and make it less, but you just never know.
True.
They can survive being crushed or boiled. They can also take a dose 1,100 times greater than us.
Than us?
Mm-hmm.
Of
radiation.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Even when deemed clinically dead, this tiny creature can be brought back to life 10 years later.
Can I say it again? Weird, sort of cute. Yeah.
Wouldn't call it that, but
sort of weird looking, like.
Yeah, so yeah, it literally could survive something like that. But I mean, we've obviously never seen one before. Scorpions, which also makes sense why they're in Fallout because you know this is gospel.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be reading it if it wasn't true. Basically, just says they can survive anything, apart from
just getting stood on.
Well, I mean,
getting knifed. Shot.
Getting knifed.
Setting fire.
Setting fire. Yeah. Well, I mean, it says it. For that, obviously it'll be like the silly things can kill it, but they
are scary though, aren't they? They're big.
They're not that big though.
No, but they've got like a
stinger.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the motion more than they couldn't even.
No one can see this.
I know,
apart from me.
I was just trying to get you to tell me because I couldn't remember.
Oh my goodness. Worms, of course.
I kept thinking tail.
Oh god,
that wasn't right.
Their tail, their little stinger tail.
Worms.
2 species of worms in a lake near Chernobyl
Oh.
have succeeded in adapting their reproduction method.
That's what was in the stew.
Oh god. To be less affected by the consequences of radiation. These worms typically reproduce by self-fertilization or by mating. Right. But since the nuclear disaster, they've opted for mating. Good on them. I think I'd rather do that myself. Right. Yeah. This increases their chances of survival because obviously there's more of them.
Yeah.
That was done in a biology institute in Ukraine, or the Ukraine, as many people want to call it now, for some reason. E. coli can survive 60 levels of sieverts, 6 times to the lethal level for humans. So we would be dead and they would still be alive. So E. coli could be the thing that could be brought back in the summer and kill everything anyway.
Could be.
Parasitic wasps.
They sound grim.
They look grim.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, don't like them at all. They can survive radiation levels 300 times higher than humans. So you think if E. coli can survive 60, they can survive 300. That's insane. So basically, let's remember that the next time a wasp bothers you at a barbecue. Oh dear.
Anything left you don't want to be here with.
Oh yeah, 100%. I wouldn't want anything. I mean, no, thank you. Believe it or not, cockroaches can survive 15 times more.
That's not all.
Well, compared to
wimps.
Compared to 300.
Well, that's true.
You think the size of the cockroaches would be like, yeah, they'd be huge, but there's big blooming parasitic wasps coming at you flying. Their wings and all would be making the wind and all. Would be making tornadoes and stuff go all over the place. Be crazy. Yeah. I don't even know what this is. It's a weird looking like larva type of thing. It lays its eggs in the other animals and stuff, so it could just live in other animals. Could you imagine it just like takes over a bear? It can also survive 1,800 sieverts. That's mad.
1,800?
Mm-hmm.
Bloody hell.
Mm-hmm. So you think the wasp 300, they can survive 1,800?
6 times that.
That's crazy. Single cell organisms.
Yeah, they'll do alright.
Yeah, I can imagine why. Fruit fly, just because it's a prick, can survive 640 sieverts of radiation, which is still quite a lot, but it is quite small, so it makes sense, wouldn't it?
Somebody tested all this?
Probably. I mean, I couldn't imagine why they would have a list and not have tested it. Like, this is only made in the end of January of this year as well. So, pine trees planted near Chernobyl have succeeded in adapting their genome to resist radiation. They added chemical groups to their DNA. However, the pines that grew near Chernobyl have been drained of their chlorophyll to the point that they remain red throughout the year. That's class, though, isn't it? That's class. But they can survive.
Is there a picture of it? No.
No, just normal pine trees, but there is a little radiation sign just in Chernobyl where the pine trees are.
It's mad.
Yeah, I like pine trees now. It's my favourite thing. Bacterium. Mice. This is in theory because mice. It's only really saying mice could do it because it's not the fact that they have this mad, deflective light of radiation. They can't survive it. If they were above ground, whatever happened, they're probably gonna die. But the fact that they're below ground, they're pretty much fine, and they could survive there for a lot longer than. But that's basically the same thing we could do. I mean, if we were underground for that same amount of time, we'd be all right. So we couldn't because we could only survive 10 sieverts of radiation. So
we're such wimps.
I mean, we're not built for that sort of stuff. Like, and anyone who says that we're like the biggest, the big man of the food industry, we're not. We're gonna die.
Well, I mean, we're fine until stuff goes wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't class this as the top of the food chain because there's other things out there that could survive.
Well,
they can't kill us whenever we're at our best, but at
yeah,
our worst,
we're not great whenever it comes to stuff that we do to ourselves. Like nuclear winter can't happen unless we do it.
Yeah.
So it's self-inflicted. We deserve it.
Could you imagine we just did it one day?
Sure, everyone was freaking out last year, North Korea and US.
Well, I mean, if China would stop making all the crap of the day, then we'd be fine. So if they cut it in half, I think would do a pretty big dent in it. Like, we think we'd be fine. But
yeah, I'm sure they can't even breathe their own air.
No, exactly. They have to wear the masks.
Yeah, and apparently they don't really work.
Well, apparently, why would they work? They're only like little things there. What are they meant to do?
Yeah, it's just I thought it was a bit strange.
Yeah,
I thought they had it all covered.
Only their faces.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, nuclear winter.
Crazy stuff, man.
It is, and as I say, if you're interested in it, just go look it up because there's so much more than what we just said. But we'll call part 1 there, and we'll get straight into part 2. Welcome back to part 2.
Black hole, son.
Literally is what we're going through. So basically, if anyone doesn't know, first ever picture of a black hole was taken.
If you don't know, there's something wrong.
Because it's class, you should look it up. It's hard to sort of explain what it looks like.
I was eating my dinner whenever it happened. How would
you describe that?
Sauron's eye.
But like blurry.
Yeah, as if he has a problem.
And circular, almost like it just is iris.
Yeah, like sort ours, of. But
yeah.
But his isn't. His is like a slant. His is like a vagina.
Yeah, it's like a normal. It's almost like an eye. That's the color of Sauron's eye. It's just the iris.
It's as if you were looking at my eyes, but they were red without your glasses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a class picture. You should look it up. Yeah. Pretty groundbreaking. And there's a lady called Leah Crane. She is a space and physics reporter for New Scientist. So basically, she was doing a question and answer thing on Twitter. So I thought we'd just run through a few of these to see what people were asking and what she was thinking. Cool. So basically, a guy called Pugmaster22 asked, is it true that with a smaller black hole, spelled WHOLE, you would get ripped apart when you hit the event horizon, but with a larger enough black hole, you would I'm just reading it exactly the way it said. You would pass through it unharmed because it's pulling your whole body at once. Right? Uh-huh. So in English, basically, in a smaller one, you're more likely to die than a bigger one.
Yeah.
Her response, you're pretty much going to die either way, but yes, that is about right. With a small black hole, you get ripped apart earlier because you can get closer to the singularity before hitting the event horizon. But either way, you're going to die. Why is it brighter on one side? Because if you've seen the picture, it's sort of one, I think it's the left-hand side slightly thicker than the right. Yeah. Are we closer to the bright side? It's brighter on one side because it's rotating. Yeah. That light, the light that's coming towards us appears brighter, and the light that's moving away isn't as bright. So basically, then there's a follow-up question: what is rotating? The accretion disk or the black hole, is it a Kerr black hole or not? From this image, we can't be totally sure whether it's just the accretion disk rotating or just the black hole or both. I'm assuming that disk is just a part of it.
Can you imagine having to get through that though? I'd love to send something through that.
It wouldn't. You'd never see that again. But imagine what time is like within that. It must be just mad. Mm-hmm. Anyway, where is the event horizon? Somebody asked. The event horizon is the black area in the middle. The black area is the shadow of the black hole against the material circling and eventually falling in.
There's plenty of DVDs as well.
Mm-hmm. Loads of
DVDs about Event Horizon, yeah.
Is the energy locked up in a black hole still counted as part of the overall energy of the universe, or has it, to all intents and purposes, been lost? It's a guy called Ken Goodwin from ITV.
Oh.
Yeah, got a blue tick.
He's probably one of the guys that is doing the story on it.
And then her answer, the energy in a black hole still counts because the black hole is still in the universe.
Yeah. Well,
basically.
There you go then.
When a black hole evaporates, which theoretically they think happens, they don't know for sure, the energy goes back out into the universe.
Well, it creates another one probably.
Yeah, it just doesn't stay around. Let's just see. Does every spiral galaxy have one at its centre? Because obviously we do.
Yeah.
it's a supermassive black hole. And then she says, yes, we think that pretty much all galaxies have supermassive black holes at their centres. The black holes may be important to the formation of the big galaxies.
I wonder, like, in like 60 billion years from there, something would be like flying between them.
This is a class question. This is a great question.
Thank you.
A guy called John Detlefs has asked, which came first, the black hole or the galaxy?
Ooh.
We don't know which came first. Big clouds of gas could collapse to form galaxies all at once, with black holes forming later, or pre-existing black holes and stars could drift together to form galaxies. But it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
So it's pretty good. Where do particles and objects sucked into black holes go? Asks independent thinker. They don't exactly go anywhere. Their constituent particles just become part of the black hole, the same way an object that falls into the sun would just become part of the sun.
Yeah. It'd be terrible falling into the sun. You'd just be cooked.
The real JP asks, what is the temperature of a black hole?
Very cold.
Interesting. So the area just outside a black hole, the bright bit,
Be hot.
is extremely hot.
Yeah.
The temperature is about emitting energy, which black holes don't do, aside from a tiny amount of Hawking radiation, so their temperature is close to absolute zero.
Yeah.
In general.
That makes sense.
Let's just see. How is a supermassive black hole more massive than a regular black hole? The singularity at centre is the same, is it not? So the mass of the crap around the event horizon, does this just mean that older black holes are bigger? Her answer, the singularity is infinitely dense, but not infinitely massive, just infinitely small. What? So the singularity in a supermassive black hole could be more massive, but I don't think we know if that's how the mass is distributed. I'm not 100% sure though. It's a good question.
Ooh. Very good.
Got her.
Got her.
But basically that is the last one that she answered. All in, I think, because she got caught out. No, but seriously, I just thought that was really, really interesting. Going through some stuff we didn't really know.
I just think it's funny because we talked about the black hole like
time travel
a couple of months ago, and we were saying like there's never been a photograph one, and now there has, and it was in our generation.
We didn't know they existed until I think it was 15 years ago.
But we managed to get a photo in our generation, which
it's just class. So
just love being a part of this stuff, even though I didn't do a thing about it.
Yeah,
all I did was eat my chicken and ham pie and
just
TV.
Watch. It's just so cool, and like, yeah, as you say, like, you know, well, 50 years ago we hadn't even been to the moon, and now we're finding stuff that is so unbelievably far away.
Yeah.
And then you never know. Eventually, we might actually be able to observe the supermassive black hole in the middle of the Milky Way.
Well, it depends on what one you get.
So.
Are Milky Ways even a thing anymore?
Yeah, are they? They're amazing.
I haven't seen.
But you know they're different in America.
Yeah, it's the same as Mars bars.
Yep, they are Mars bars.
Oh, is it?
They're called Milky Ways in America. They're Mars bars.
Ew. No,
if you buy a Milky Way, like, watch This Is the End. They fight over a Milky Way and it's a Mars bar.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Like, I remember Rachel and I, we were buying some like wee sort of snacks in a shop called La La Land in Hollywood, and we literally went in and I was like, oh, I could kill for a literal Milky Way.
Yeah.
And she was like, I think they're different over here. Like, and I went over, I was like, yeah, it's a friggin' Mars bar.
Oh,
put that back.
That's unfortunate.
I don't think they have a Milky Way.
Probably not.
So
it'd be a real shame.
Yeah, black holes, all the range.
I just can't wait till we find out more information about it.
It's just so cool.
Yeah.
And Hawking radiation, by the way, just as a side note, hasn't actually been observed yet. It's still just a theory.
Yeah.
So she did mention it there. It hasn't actually been proven, but it is a theory that it exists.
Oh, so many. Just the fact that we've actually photographed one, I just think it's amazing. I think that I just don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. You just don't know what technology is going to happen.
Exactly.
Oh.
This is a very information heavy one, isn't it?
It is, yes, but I'm just so excited. I'm so
like
excited.
Even like the first bit's all about complicated stuff that we didn't even want to go into.
Yeah.
And this is so far beyond the stuff that we spoke about in the first bit that we didn't want to go into.
Yeah. It's good though. Cool. I mean, it's something we both really enjoy talking about.
Exactly.
To be fair. Like,
yeah, love it.
I just can't wait to get more information about it and then we can actually discuss it a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe in 30 years that'll happen. Who knows?
Welcome to episode 5 million.
Yeah, we've hit episode 10,000 and whatever.
Be quite a while away, like.
It would indeed. It would indeed. But yeah, I think I'm going to call part 2 there because it's. I don't think anything's going to top that.
No, it's very hard.
That is what's going to be trending this week. It's been a slow week, but it's been a good week.
Today's been a good week. I mean, today, we've had plenty of things today.
Today has been a good 7 days. No,
I mean, as in today is, you know what I mean.
It's been a good day of the week.
It's been the only blooming relevant day of the week.
Literally, it's as well we were doing this today.
Yeah.
If we'd done this yesterday, this part would have been about 35 seconds long. What's trending this week? Nothing. Moved on.
Could you imagine? I went through Twitter and there's absolutely nothing to talk about.
Quite literally nothing. Yeah. So, we'll leave part 2 there, folks, and we'll catch you in part 3. Oh, so welcome to part 3. This is the final part, as always, every week. So
nice.
We're,
Alright, Captain Obvious.
So
this is the final part ever.
As you can see, there's a bit too much in that intro, so it leads us nicely into what we're going to speak about, which is clutter. So recently, I put far too much at the start, so let's tidy us all up. Okay. So walked in the record today.
You walked into the court?
To record.
Oh, I thought you said the court. I was like, oh, why?
I was in. Yeah. They got me.
Yeah.
No, so walked in to record, recording at Phil's, and the room's tidier.
Yeah.
It's considerably tidier. And
there's just a lot of stuff to get thrown away now.
Yeah, and it brought us into a slight conversation before we started recording about how just doing a bit of tidying up, a bit of cluttering, decluttering, just clears the head.
Helps mental health, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think my dad always used to say, actually, whenever you have somewhere tidy, it's like tidy place, tidy mind sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
You can think a bit better.
I can understand that. Yeah.
All the rest, and
I'll be a lot happier whenever I have inside stuff.
Yeah.
Finished, because at the minute it's like the exterior's
tidy
gone into the interior.
Yeah. Like, I actually find something really useful to do, and actually it's quite enjoyable as well. Saves so much room. Is going through clothes and just being like, what have I not worn in the last 6 months? I'm going to wear it again. Probably not.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. You just don't need it.
Yeah. To be fair, I might have to do that at some point as well, because it's just, there's some t-shirts and stuff I've had, and I was like 16, 17, and they're always sort of wearing out now. Like,
yeah.
Usually the shirts I get, like the band shirts and stuff I get, obviously they're all like tie-dye and stuff and all printed on them, so more times they're washed, the more it's going to look dreadful. I mean, there's some...
You can even wear in the bed still, but some of them, if you wanted, obviously. But like, there's just something about decluttering and tidying up that just gives you that feeling of like,
yeah.
I don't even know how else to describe it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll be happy when everything's sort of finished though, because there's a few things I need to check out, like those ring of fire after curry wipes. I got them for my 18th birthday, and I still got them.
But it's things like that though that you put away and you completely forget about. Like,
completely
forget about. There's a load of stuff in one of my little cupboards that I know I've just sort of put in there.
Yeah, see, I have it's like people. I think everyone has a cupboard for that though. Mm-hmm. Everyone has that. And I just stuck it in their cupboard. Yeah, I think
exactly.
Everyone has that cupboard.
I went through it recently. When I say recently, within the last 6 months, and maybe around Christmas, and there was some stuff that I was like, nah, don't need it. Chuck it out. But within that, there's like, for example, there's like Game of Thrones props. That I've got, and you know, things like figures and stuff. You know, that I've put in there that take up a lot of room. But in the same way, it's the stuff sitting around, like, as you know, first thing you notice, oh, look at all the sort of
the
surface.
White. Yeah.
And it's not like the floor was messy. It's just sometimes you put stuff down, then you put another thing down, and then next thing you have a whole pile of stuff.
Well, all that stuff is now gone in the bin, and I mean, I've got, it's insane. Like the drawers, like I've got so like, if someone was to walk in here and I said I've got no space, they'd be like, mate,
you have like 15 drawers.
You've like yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I don't. They're all full to the brim, like.
Yeah. Which
is incredibly nuts. I mean, I have no idea what's in them, to be honest. Like, I know what's in the top one over there, which is all my games. I know what's in those two, which is just gaming equipment, and then over there is musical equipment. Yeah. But in there, clothes and crap, basically. So.
Guarantee you went through that and were to go, right, have I worn that in the last 6 months? Nah, I don't need it.
The clothes in there are
just
all
be harsh.
Holiday clothes. So.
Well then you definitely would have worn them in the last 6 months.
Exactly. Well, no, I would have. I would have.
Actually, yeah.
But no, obviously keep them. But I think I'm just gonna maybe do it over the weekend and just.
In fact, you wouldn't have.
What?
6 months ago is October now.
Shut up. Nope.
Yeah.
Disbelief.
Chuck it all out. It all
I can actually
goes.
see my whiskey over there, my wee whiskey decanter now, so I can see that, thankfully.
There's loads of stuff, like, there's so many benefits, as you say, apart from the whole, I genuinely think a tidier environment makes you a bit more, like, productive, a bit happier.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just, it's annoying because once you get into that sort of rut of just having so much crap, you're just like, I really can't be arsed seeing this anymore. And then whenever you say that, and you're like, do you know what? That's it. You get up. You just want to do one of those things, you swipe them off and then into a big bin bag or something like. But I mean, yeah, it'd just be nice to have some sort of arrangement in the. I know where a few things are, but I like to have a cupboard for that, and a cupboard for this, and a drawer for that. You know, but I mean, music and stuff. It's all gonna be. I want to put my vinyls and stuff somewhere, but I don't really know where to put them yet. I was gonna put them there, but it stops the drawers from opening.
Whenever you tidy up there.
I don't know. It'd be nice because
where are they now?
The vinyls over there. The vinyl players over there. And the vinyls are in there.
Oh, right, okay.
In their little box. It's got like a nice little tiny box and stuff. So they're not going to be lying across the place. Like, but I had them over there. And I couldn't open that cupboard.
Yeah.
And I'd literally nowhere else to put them. But I could put it up there. But I just don't want it to look as if it's untidy.
I know what you mean.
You know. So
beside the vinyl player.
Yeah, but even over there, like I mean, those chocolates are out of date. I don't know why. Like Dad has been in them, and I haven't been in them. So Mum doesn't. She doesn't even eat roses. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to find places to put all this stuff. Like I just don't know. But like
it's
I said,
sort of enjoyable though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to. I'm gonna have to get loads of bin bags as well and be like, yeah, bin.
Once you get going, like it's.
I remember the big one I did, whenever I was moving rooms, and see the amount of crap I find that. Well, it wasn't crap. It was just like childhood stuff that I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Don't need that.
I remember having a little badge. It was like 15 or 16 called Boob Inspector. I thought I was the best man alive. And then now I'm like, no,
right, got in trouble wearing that.
But yeah, just seeing like even like loads of certificates and stuff. Whenever I was in school and all that. I found my swim certificate from school.
My goodness.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I found loads of stuff. Found like loads of exam papers and exam results and all that sort of crack. And then did you ever like keep your reports from over like PlayStation? What am I saying PlayStation for? I was going to say
I don't know.
P1. I was going to say that from PlayStation 1.
my mom probably has them, but I don't.
Oh man, I have them all. Well, Mum has them all in this big folder, and you just see all the reports. Just like I hated that teacher.
Yeah, I
hated that year. You could just see the people. You could just whenever you read the thing, you're like, I remember exactly what happened that day whenever the report was given out. But yeah, no, it is nice. Like it is enjoyable whenever you can sort of sit down. But what I don't want to do is start in one place and then someone come in and open a drawer and be like, well, what happens in here? And I'm like, no,
look,
I want to do this bit.
I've decided what happens over there. No, I just think there's something about it, but then there's always the excuse whenever you're about to start and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered.
I just know for a fact whenever I start bringing stuff out, I'll make the floor untidy, then I'll just be like, oh god. Because I hate looking at untidiness whenever everything's tidy. Do you know what I mean? Like I hate bringing out loads of stuff and then having to sift through it all. It's just, it's a nightmare. They were on the Lawrence. What?
Huh?
Well, I thought you were pointing like at your nipple or something. No. I don't know what you were doing. Just going to Lawrence tomorrow and sort of one of her rooms. What? Don't
point at your nipple. What the hell?
I don't know what you were doing. I was like, you calling me something? You calling me a nipple or something? But no, if the go around tomorrow and help her with that sofa we moved in today. So.
Yeah. What one was this? The one that was in here?
No, well, we had the sofa bed in here, which is now moved into her room, which is the podcast room, technically in her house, and then Mum and Dad bought a new sofa there like a year and a half ago.
Yes.
And we've had the old sofa in her garage the entire time since, trying to sell it. No one wants it, so Mum was just like, do you want to just move it into your house? She was like, well, yeah, I mean, it's getting destroyed in that garage, like, so.
And what about her sofa in her house?
Well, she has two. She's the grey one in her living room. And then the other one is the one she had from her old place, which is just done. So it was just literally moved from that living room into the other one. And then, it's just been sitting there for no reason really. But, I mean, I have no idea what she's going to do with that sofa in there. Like, I have no idea.
Ben. It's all Tober dump.
Oh, that's where we took the old one, but that one's
right.
the new one now. Like it was, I don't know. Should have seen the state of us taking the old one. I brought the sofa out and stuff, and Dad went up and put all the other stuff in the skip, and I brought that crappy sofa out, and it came down to you've seen Lauren's old sofa, didn't you? The one that was like the L-shaped one.
Corner.
Yeah, the corner sofa. Yeah. So
it was like too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one there, which closed it, like it stopped the door from opening, basically. Yeah.
So one of the doors you couldn't like knock it in.
Yeah.
For anyone that obviously doesn't know.
Yeah. So, the last two, the corner bits were just far too big to fit in the car.
Yeah.
So what we did is we just shoved it into the boot. I get in through the back.
Just
held on to it, and Dad's driving, and he should see it, and he bumping up and down and all. And we drove into the dump, and this fella, he took like a triple take. I was sitting there, and I was like, he goes, what's he doing in the back of that car? I'm sitting there, you know. That was funny, like. But yeah, I'm just glad it's all gone now. But tomorrow and Friday will probably be us doing the room and stuff up now. So
it's all changed.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's changing, thankfully. Good. I just can't wait to get in here done, because mine will be at pace, and I'll just know all what's everything's for, and I just can't be arsed.
Where everything is, etc.
Can't be arsed with it just being all the crap of the day. Like, I mean, I know for a fact I'm going to chuck so much stuff out. Like, yesterday there's so many documents are shredded as well, but just didn't need. But you just keep them just in case something ever happens, and then nothing's happened for the past 3 years. So
I'm in that place. I know. I
know
exactly what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're all gone now, and I don't need to worry about them now. So it's all good. Yeah.
Nice.
Everything's changing.
So anyone that doesn't, you should declutter. Feels good.
Declutter. It feels a lot better than having clutter, like, that's for sure. Your mind will start to be at ease, like.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you don't like doing it, take a couple of beers with you and just do that.
Honestly, it might be a bit messier than when you started, but you'll enjoy yourself.
Beers and tunes. That's all you need.
So we'll just move on. Obviously, the part we like to finish on, which is just our final thoughts. So,
which is technically the last part, not the third part.
Good point.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Hashtag
so
fail.
So basically,
for anyone who didn't see it there, obviously you can't see it.
No one sees.
I did the hashtag so there
with the 2 fingers.
Yeah, 4
fingers. Yeah.
Come on, Clarky.
Broke both his fingers on the hashtag. So I used a wee quote this week. It's from Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
He said, the only thing standing between you and your goal is a bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it. Which is cool. It's quite liberating in a way. I think, in the way that basically he's saying, well, what I take from it is that, and it's so true, actually, now you think about it, sometimes now I think about it, is that basically, you think, oh, I could never, I don't know, let's use something that people can sort of relate to. I could never get in that ridiculously good shape like Chris Hemsworth. And then, why? Oh, because I don't have time, or oh, because I don't have this, or because...
Well, they're just excuses, really.
Exactly. The bullshit excuses, bullshit stories. You type, like, you absolutely could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But...
it's the stories that keep you from doing it. Yeah.
Is the key word.
I just like burgers too much is the problem.
Well, I mean, that's just one example. Another example, I suppose, would be, like, I don't know, if somebody's...
can't skydive.
Writing a story, a book, or revising for an exam, or whatever it is, whatever situation you're in, be it one like myself, that it's time for a change in job, and you just haven't done it. Why? Because I'm tired after work, because this, because that, and it needs to be one of those. That's what got me to it.
I think it's just safety though, isn't it, as well?
You just, no, I would 100% change tomorrow if I could, honestly.
Well, even if it was like lower salary, but like...
depends on what the job is.
Yeah, I suppose.
But it's one of those that basically... yeah, it's just something to bear in mind.
Just be a yes man.
Not yes. I mean, just do what you want to do. It's your goal. If you want to go and I don't know, get a job in IT, and at the moment you're working in, I don't know, like you're a teacher. Then make
specifically one of our friends.
But just make some moves. Like if that's what you want to do. And I know obviously this person is doing that, so that's great. But like just in general, if it's just something, don't make the excuses. Don't make the same mistakes, over and over again of thinking, oh, but this is secure and blah blah blah. If it's something you want to do, give it a go.
Yeah, I would agree, 100%.
Just get past those excuses and tell yourself why you can, not why you can't.
100%. Hashtag smash it.
Is that it? Is that wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong. Now you're just giving me the fingers twice.
I don't know how to do it. Do you do it? There.
How is that anywhere near what I just did?
I don't know what you're doing with your hand.
You have that hand and you put that one on top of it. There you go.
Right. Hashtag.
It's like teaching an old man how to work a computer.
It's hard.
It's not as bad as your man's thing.
Who? Oh, Deli Alley?
Yeah.
I could do that at one point.
I can't. How do you do that?
I'll show you after.
Okay.
So, yes, folks, we'll call that an episode and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.